Alright, here's the valve cover. Got it painted white. I sanded it a little bit with 1000 grit, just so the red will stick. I know I didn't have to paint the whole thing white, but I didn't want to have to tape it twice. But red should have no problem sticking to that. That'll be white. Of course, my wife's out and she's going to get all the stuff ready to put that stuff in there, or the carved letters. I think that'll look really nice. The other thing that I did, we went ahead and we adjusted those. It was actually pretty simple. If you follow the Moss Motors one, or even the University, or the MGB University one, you know, I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 plus 5, so I can adjust that valve right there, and it's actually adjusted to 15 thousandths. I should be able to get my grabber out. Alright, got my gapper out. Here we go. That's 15 thousandths. There should be another one that I can do, I believe. And that one's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And so I can do 2. And there we go. They say do it until it grabs, or do it until you feel a little bit of resistance. It's kind of what I feel there. It's not bad. They weren't off bad. You know, I mean, I got the valve cover off anyway. These are flat. It's the flat tappet. So it's non-hydraulic lifters, so it's solid lifters, so those are pretty easy to adjust. But this might, this is for Scopey Johnson. He's doing a 74 as well. He said his trunk lid's off a little bit over here, but I just want to show him that if you look at that, you can adjust that. So I don't really know. I'm not a body guy, so I don't know if you can really mess that up. I wouldn't take it off. If you're just going to adjust it and it almost looks like you're just going to adjust it, I'd just loosen all 6 of them and then I'd move it to where you want it. I'd probably take the latch off, the back, the inside. That way you could probably move it around how you need it. And then if you can get access to the back while it's still on, then I'd probably tighten those down. But I just wanted to show them that I think your trunk can be, your lid can be adjusted. So I would probably try that first instead of going out and buying something new. And pretty sure he said he watches Do-It-Yourself, my friend Pete, and Pete doesn't particularly care too much for the aftermarket. Now, if you can get one that's used, which is a pretty good possibility, because you know, you can get a lot of that stuff used. You know, I'd probably shoot for that and probably wouldn't get anything new, because it would probably fit a lot better. But everything's looking good. You know, valve cover's looking good. Can't wait to get that done. As soon as I get that done, we'll throw that one online. Yeah. The thing that I did notice on his, if you watch his, I got a lot more wiring. But if you watch his video, here's my washer, and here's my washer motor, or pump, my squirter. If you look at his video, his is right over here. So that can actually, that shows you a little bit of a difference between the 74.5 and the 74. You know, look at all my wiring. You know, look at my fuse box compared to his. Watch his video and look at my fuse box compared to his. I bet you his may not even have. I bet you his doesn't even have that Pectron box. I bet you he doesn't have the seatbelt interlock system. It's probably why I have a lot more wires. It's probably because of that. So actually, his wiring diagram. You'll be able to find his wiring diagram. It's probably one of these. It's probably the small one. And I'll tell you what, when he starts, you know, looking at that wiring, don't dread that wiring, man. Don't do it. Because I'll tell you what, looking at your wiring just in general compared to mine, I'll trade you. I will definitely trade you. You know, I mean, I'm an ex-auto mechanic, so the wiring diagram. My advice to you, if you're not really used to wiring diagrams or anything like that, and this goes to everybody, if you're not used to wiring diagrams and you think that wiring diagrams are really, really difficult, this is what I do. I will look at those wiring diagram and I will look at them for days. I won't look at them for like hours at a time and stuff like that, but every now and again I'll just pick it up and I'll just glance over it and I'll just look at stuff. Say, okay, that's there, that's there, that's there, and I'll go ahead and I'll put it away and I'll walk away from it. Then maybe a couple days later, I'll come back to it and I'll look at it again. If you keep doing that, you'll basically put this whole wiring diagram into your brain. And it sounds weird, but trust me, especially if you're visual. If you're visual, this will work. You will look at that wiring diagram and you will know exactly where everything is at. And then you'll come over here. Because sometimes if you don't know where it's at, you're trying to find something over here and they say, okay, it's a blue and a white wire, and then you come over here, okay, where's my blue and white wires? And you're looking all over the place. If you know exactly where to look, it's right there. So that's my advice. Don't get discouraged by wiring. Wiring truly, it's really not that hard. All you have to do is follow it. Just follow it. Now, it makes it more difficult because I got a 74.5 and I've got to flip through two of them. So that's what a little bit of a pain in the ass that I have that a lot of other people probably don't. But, you know, just relax, look at it, come back to it every now and again, get a good thought of where it is. Because after I bypassed that, I started thinking, okay, if I bypass that, am I going to get power to that box anymore? Okay, if I don't get power to the box, what's not going to work? Then I started looking at it. Okay, there's a seatbelt module. If I don't get any power, I don't get any reverse lights. Okay? If I don't get any power, the buzzer's not going off. The door switch, which I really don't care. Buzzer, whoop-de-doo. Seatbelt warning lamp won't work. So I was like, all right, you know, let's hook up the battery and let's test it out. So I went down there and I started checking to see whether or not any of those other prongs were getting power. And I'm still getting power to my purple. What I did was I threw that in reverse, put it in reverse. As soon as I put it in reverse, I checked that prong to see whether or not I was getting power out to it. I'm getting power to it. So I know that when I hook up my reverse lights, they should work. If they don't work, then got to look somewhere else. It's probably going to be a ground, because that's probably why my turning signals don't work. I don't hear it clicking. It's a new switch, so I know it's not the switch, but I don't hear it clicking front or rear. But I'm pretty sure the reason why it's not doing it is because it's not grounded front and rear. because I took everything out. My lights are out, so. Well, let's end this up. I hope you guys have a good day. Any comments are appreciated. Like and subscribe.